Welcome to The Explainer. So, if you're 13 right now, you're probably noticing that your brain is going through some massive upgrades, right? You're thinking differently, feelings are hitting way more intensely, and honestly, it can feel like a total roller coaster sometimes. But what if your mind isn't just this random, chaotic storm of emotions? What if it's actually more like an epic master builder's kit? Like literally. Today, we're opening up an ancient manual to your brain that maps out exactly 52 mental factors. You can think of them as the fundamental building blocks of your entire consciousness. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see your own mind in a completely new, incredibly powerful way. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever had a sudden, huge rush of anger just because your Wi-Fi dropped right in the middle of a game? Or, I don't know, maybe a massive burst of joy when you finally nailed a super tough skateboard trick? It feels like one big, overwhelming wave, right? But ask yourself, what are those feelings actually made of? Imagine if you could just hit pause, freeze time, pull out a magnifying glass, and look really, really closely at that anger or that joy. You wouldn't see one solid, unbreakable block. No way. You'd see tiny, invisible pieces snapping together in real time to build that exact feeling. And that's the core idea we're exploring today. Every single moment of your conscious experience is constructed from these hidden, tiny pieces. To make sense of all these pieces, we kind of need a visual roadmap. So, according to our source material, human consciousness is broken down into exactly 52 sedasikas, or mental factors. And the cool thing is, they don't just sit in one giant messy pile. They're actually neatly divided into three main buckets of building blocks. We've got 13 ethically variable blocks, 14 unwholesome blocks, and 25 wholesome or beautiful blocks. Think of this as your master inventory. Every single time you have a thought, your brain is reaching into these three buckets and pulling out a very specific combination of pieces. So let's open up that first bucket and see what we're working with here. Category 1. The shapeshifter blocks, the 13 ethically variable factors. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these variable blocks act like the shapeshifters of your mind. On their own, they're completely neutral, like totally chameleon-like. Whatever other blocks they snap together with, they just take on that color and that energy. And as you can see, the source document strictly divides these 13 variable blocks into two distinct subteams. On one side, we have 7 blocks called universals, which are common to all consciousnesses. And on the other side, we've got 6 blocks labeled occasionals. Basically, it's telling us that even within this neutral category, there are totally different rules for different blocks. Let's break down exactly what that means for your daily life. So here's the logic behind that split. The 7 universals are basically your absolute base plates. You literally cannot build a single thought without them. We're talking contact, feeling, perception, volition, one-pointedness, mental life faculty, and attention. Every single time your mind registers anything, whether that's hearing a dog bark or tasting a slice of pizza, these 7 blocks are snapped into place instantly. You physically cannot be conscious without them. Then you have the 6 occasionals. These are your special modifier blocks, and they only show up sometimes. We've got initial application, sustained application, decision, energy, zest, and desire. Think about when you're super focused on building something or playing a game you absolutely love. Your brain might grab that zest block and the energy block to make the whole experience feel super exciting and driven. But, if you're just staring blankly out a window at school, those specific occasional blocks, yeah, they probably just stay in the bucket. Category 2. The toxic glitch blocks, the 14 unwholesome factors. So what happens when things go wrong? Well, we've got our neutral base plates sorted out. But when your brain starts pulling from this second bucket, your mental structures become unstable, weak, and ultimately, they just cause you a lot of problems. Think of these as the toxic glitch blocks. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the source maps out these glitchy blocks before we get to the premium ones down at the bottom. It maps them into 2 distinct categories, a set of 4 that are literally always present in every bad mental state, and a group of 10 others that just kind of pop up depending on the specific situation. It's basically a literal map of how bad decisions and negative emotions are constructed in real time. Let's rapid fire through this. Whenever you make a truly bad decision or, say, act out of malice, these 4 core glitches are absolutely always in the foundation: delusion, shamelessness, fearlessness of wrongdoing, and restlessness. Every single time. Then we have the 10 others. Think of these as specific malware you definitely want to avoid installing in your brain. This list includes greed, wrong view, conceit, hatred, envy, avarice, worry, sloth, torpor, and doubt. So when you feel that gross, heavy feeling of jealousy over someone else's brand new phone, yeah, that's just the envy and greed blocks snapping onto your base plates, fueled by delusion and restlessness. Recognizing these blocks for exactly what they are, just toxic, temporary pieces, makes it way, way easier to dismantle them. Category 3. The superpower blocks, the 25 wholesome or beautiful factors.
All right, let's clear out those glitches and bring the energy way up, because this is hands down the best bucket. These are the premium gold tier superpower blocks. They're the exact pieces you need to intentionally use to build a strong, resilient, and deeply happy mind. Let's move to and see how this builds. The source data logically categorizes these into an amazing 19 universal beautiful factors. These are your premium base plates for literally any positive state of mind. Then we've got 3 abstinences, which are specific blocks that actually help you hold back from doing the wrong thing. 2 illimitables. These are boundless, expansive factors that let you project positivity outward to everyone. And finally, sitting right there at the very top, 1 factor called non-delusion. This is ultimate clarity. It's the block that lets you see reality exactly as it is without any mental fog. When you're feeling incredibly confident, kind, and sharp, this is the exact recipe your brain is using.
So, what does this all mean? Well, the absolutely crucial point here comes back to this single number, 52. We have 13 neutral shapeshifters, 14 toxic glitches, and 25 premium superpower blocks. 52 distinct mental factors in total. Listen, this explainer isn't just about memorizing some ancient lists. It's about giving you the actual, literal blueprint to your own psychology. When you finally understand that an overwhelming emotion isn't just one giant, scary, unbreakable thing, but rather a temporary structure built out of these 52 pieces, man, you gain so much control. You realize you don't have to be a victim to the glitch blocks. You can actively choose to cultivate the beautiful ones instead. Which brings us to the most important question of all. Now that you've looked inside the toolkit and seen the literal blueprint of human consciousness, you hold the power. You are the master builder of your own thoughts. When a tough situation hits you today and your brain starts frantically reaching for pieces to build a reaction, which blocks will you build with today? Are you going to let that malware install itself, or will you reach for those 25 premium superpower blocks? The choice and the mind you build is entirely yours. Keep building, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.